Okay, wait, hold on. Do you remember the first time you saw your mom's face? Like actually saw it. Not from a photo, not from a story. Someone told you. Actually you, in that moment, looking up at her. No, you don't. And that's genuinely strange if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, because you were there. You were the main character. Your parents remember it. Your grandparents probably cried. But you, complete blank. Most people go, oh yeah, babies just don't have memory yet, and then they move on with their lives. But that answer is wrong. Like actually wrong. And the real answer is so much weirder, so much stranger. And honestly, it says something kind of profound about who you are right now. Let's start with the part that breaks everyone's brain. Babies can remember things. Like actually remember them. In the 1980s, a psychologist named Carolyn Rovey Collier did something brilliant. She took 2-month-old babies, 2 months old, and she tied a ribbon from their ankle to a mobile hanging above them. When the baby kicked, the mobile moved, and here's what happened. Within minutes, these tiny humans figured it out. Kick. Mobile moves. Kick again. Mobile moves again. They were absolutely losing their minds with excitement, tiny little scientists. But here's the part that matters. She came back a few days later. No ribbon this time. She just put the same mobile above them, and the babies immediately started kicking. They remembered. 2 months old. They remembered. So if the memory was there, where did it go? Okay, so imagine your brain is a computer. When something happens to you, your brain hits save. That save button lives in a part of your brain called the hippocampus. And here's the thing. Babies have a working hippocampus from birth. That's why the kicking experiment worked. The save button works fine. But here's the problem. Saving something to RAM isn't the same as moving it to the hard drive. To actually keep a memory for 20 years, you need to package it, give it a label, give it a context. This happened here, at this time, with these people. And the part of the brain that does that labeling, the prefrontal cortex, is the slowest developing structure in the entire human body. It takes over 20 years to fully mature. 20 years. So when you were a baby, your experiences were like video clips with no file names, no dates, no folders, just floating around. And unsorted data gets deleted. But wait, it gets weirder. Because there's a second thing actively erasing your memories, and this one is kind of wild. In your first years of life, your brain is producing new neurons at an explosive rate. This is called neurogenesis. And in 2014, 2 researchers named Sheena Jocelyn and Paul Franklin found something that nobody expected. That wave of new brain cells was physically destroying old memories because new neurons need space. And to make space, they push into existing neural connections. They overwrite them. They break them, the very connections that were holding your memories. So your brain is constantly running a calculation. Is this memory more important, or is this new survival skill more important? The memory of crawling around the garden trying to eat a tulip, or learning to keep your balance so you can walk. Your brain picks walking. Every time. Tulip memory. Deleted. They proved this with mice, by the way. They trained mice to avoid a part of their cage by giving them a mild shock. Then they sped up the rate of new brain cell production. The mice forgot. They wandered right back into the dangerous area, happy as ever, completely unaware. Okay, so we've got the hard drive problem. We've got the neurogenesis problem. But here's the part that really gets me. The part that I think is the strangest of all. To remember something, you need a narrator, a voice inside your head that says, this is happening to me. I am here. This is my experience. But here's the thing. Babies don't have that voice yet. Psychologists tested this with something called the mirror test. They put a small red mark on a baby's nose. Then they held the baby up to a mirror. Babies under 18 months, they reach out and touch the mirror. They think there's another baby in there. They have no idea they're looking at themselves. But after around 18 to 24 months, something shifts. The baby looks in the mirror, sees the red mark, and instead of touching the glass, touches their own nose. That moment. That tiny finger on that tiny nose. That's the moment you were born. Not biologically. Psychologically. That's the first time a self existed inside that little body. And it's not a coincidence that our earliest retrievable memories almost always start around that exact same time. You can't remember being a baby, partly because the you that would remember it didn't exist yet. And then there's language, which is honestly the piece that most people never think about. Think about how a baby takes in the world. No words, just raw sensation, cool air, big blue door, large tree. But with nothing to attach those impressions to, they slip away, like trying to hold water in your hands. The moment you start talking, everything changes. Language is like a filing system for your brain. New house, blue door, big tree. Suddenly the memory has a structure, something to hold on to, and every time you retell a memory, you reinforce it. That's why your grandfather's army story is so vivid. He's told it 500 times. It's basically carved into stone at this point. Babies can't retell their experiences. They don't have the words, so the experiences never get reinforced. They sink into silence and disappear. Here's the last thing, and this one is genuinely wild. The age of your earliest memory is actually shaped by the culture you grew up in. Researchers found that in Western cultures where parents ask children, "How did you feel about today?" people's earliest memories average around age 3.5. In Maori communities in New Zealand, where oral storytelling and remembering your origins is deeply embedded in daily life, people's earliest memories push back to around age 2.5. In many East Asian cultures, where conversations focus more on collective harmony than individual experience, earliest memories appear closer to age 4. The moment the movie of your life starts recording depends on how the people around you talk to you, which is honestly one of the most incredible things I've ever learned. So, why can't you remember being a baby? Not one reason. 5. Your sorting system wasn't built yet. Your new brain cells were constantly overwriting old data. You had no vocabulary to label what you experienced. You had no self to be the narrator, and nobody was asking you to retell it. That baby's brain was working at full capacity. It just had a different job than remembering the tulip. Its job was to build you. And it did. The baby you were had to disappear so the person you are could show up. If this just broke your brain a little bit in a good way, subscribe, because every week on Xeno Minds, we go this deep into the hidden layers of how your mind actually works. And the next video is going to make you question something you think you know about your own memory. Click it.